been a minute since I've been out here. Yeah, good enough. Alright, hey guys, it's Michael, back with another video. Today I'm going to be working on redoing my trunk setup. What I'm going to do today is pull all that stuff out. I got a new battery terminal that I want to use to give me more accessory ports, because you'll see it looks pretty bad right now. I'm going to trace out the flooring for the trunk and put a solid piece on the bottom, I think. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I'm going to redo the trunk floor. I'll be mounting a second compressor. I'll be adding back the trunk liners to where they're supposed to be. I don't know if I'm going to be running a subwoofer anymore, but I will be still running the amp. We'll kind of figure it out as we go along. I have somewhat of a plan, but really I'm just going to wing it. So let's get to it. So as a refresher, here's my current trunk setup. I have a 4-channel amp. I had a remote trigger for my air suspension, but I ended up disabling it because I had a short and it started acting weird. So I need to test this out to see if it actually is shorted out or what's going on with it. Maybe there's a loose wire or something, I don't know, but I'm gonna look into that. I'll be taking the air tank out, taking out the compressor, and just kind of remounting everything. All my liners are missing. They kind of go with the carpet, except for this one. It's the only one that's there, and it's, you know, just kind of loose. I basically wanted to be able to get my spare out if I needed it. So right now this is split, and I'm able to pull this piece out independent of the back one, so that stays stationary. I really still want to do that, but I want to make this part match, and also it doesn't really line up very well. So like right here, this goes a little further in where this doesn't. It does kind of follow the contour. I can round this out, maybe that'll help. But on this side it's definitely shorter, so maybe I will just replace at least this front piece. This back piece goes all the way to the pocket. But that's the current trunk setup, and I'm gonna start ripping all this out. All right, let's get everything labeled and disconnected. All right, so this is the current situation with the stock terminals. The positive, if you can see, I have quite a few things sandwiched in there. There's about 3 accessories that should have their own connections or like distribution block. And that's where this comes into play. This is not a sponsored video. I saw this on TikTok. Well, not this exact one, but I saw one like it. I'm like, you know what, let me look into that. So I found it on Amazon. Comes with the positive and negative. What it does is, goes onto your battery terminal, and it gives you auxiliary points to connect, and it also relocates the post so that you have a post to use your stock terminal ends, so you don't have to cut those off. I'm gonna be adding that into this today and hopefully clean up all this wiring, make it look somewhat decent, and give me more peace of mind. You know, that's just a mess. Pretty embarrassing, actually. Anyway, let's get to it. All right, one thing I did forget to do was let out the air. So connect the battery real quick and go and drop everything down. All right, so now I should be able to take these out, because before they were pressurized. Now, there we go. Yeah, I have to drain the tank because I'm installing a second compressor. Okay. Well, there's a lot of water in that tank. Yeah, there's a lot of water in the tank. All right. Tank is out, compressor's out, air management's out. And I got a little bit of a mess in here. I do have a spare tire that I want to make sure I'm able to get to. Yeah, it's pretty low. I should probably air it up. I'm gonna pull out the battery and give it a charge, you know, kind of while the car's down. Vacuum all this out and clean it up a little bit. I'm gonna put the liners back in and just kind of tidy everything up. Alright, so this is what we're looking at with the battery. Because I have these terminals that will give me access to relocating the post, while also giving me accessory ports. Comes with adapters and Allen keys. So we're gonna loosen this up a little bit. It has options for the post. I don't think I need to have this one on. That's a good thing, is that it gives you options. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this one off because I do need it to be a top post. All right, what I'm gonna do is relocate the post from right here to up here. And I'm gonna mount this way so that I can kind of direct the cables that way, because if I mount it this way, it's gonna go towards the outside of the car. And this way is too tight, so it's gotta be this way. Put that down as low as possible. Sure, has a good solid. Yeah, it's solid. Just go ahead and cinch this down. Now what I'll do is I'll take this one off. Oh, this is just a lock washer, okay. So that goes in there just like that. All right. So, test fitting the battery back in. This is what it looks like. Routes just like that. Clearance wise, it is a little high. It'll need something to protect it. Alright, so I've been riding around with this spare thinking that it's going to save me one day, only to find out that it's completely flat. Alright, it's a new day and I'm still kind of dealing with this trunk situation because I'm trying to figure out how I want to run everything. I think I'm ditching my amp for now and I'm just going to focus on the air suspension setup. I did pull out the second relay harness for the second compressor right here. My plan is to use this board I was using before, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to shift this tank back so that these brackets hang off of this board. I'm still going to keep a two-piece design so I can get my spare tire out. And what I'll do is the second board will kind of tuck underneath these brackets. So it'll kind of fit into place and yeah, you'll see how it comes out. But that's the current plan. So yeah, this will be moved back about at least an inch, maybe 2 inches. It'll give me room for a second compressor right here. And then I can route the leader lines into the tank, so that one will stay there. The other one will come into probably this hole. Anyway, let's get started. Alright, so this is my attempt at trying to clean up the wiring, and it looks like I made a mess by kind of just tucking a lot of wire right here. But what I did was, I don't want to cut anything just for the sake of if I ever have to run this system or harness in another vehicle, I don't want to have all these cut up wires, because this harness comes all loomed up nice and everything. I don't want to really cut it if I don't have to. So what I did was I wound everything up, zip tied it, not too tight, and tucked it kind of in this spare area. I have the relays tucked under here. The main harness that goes to the management is going to be right here. I can route it wherever I'm going to put it. All my air lines are still right there, so those didn't move. These will be the two power supplies for the compressors, which both compressors are going back here, and there's some room to kind of adjust them as needed. These two lines, the remote trigger and the actual remote for the management, these two go that into the cabin. This is the trigger for the second compressor. I got the two power leads for the compressors over here. Those will go to the ground and to the battery positive. All right, that's nice and tight up against there, it looks like. All right, and by the looks of it, I should be fine with fitting this other compressor right there. This line will probably go like that. The other option is, if I have another right angle, bring it back and do that. Sorry for the dog barking. Yeah, I think that's going to work. I just gotta get it mounted. Alright, I got the tank mounted, the two compressors mounted. I previously had a little indent routed into this piece, and it's kind of hidden by the carpet, but that was as a relief for the drain for the tank. But since I moved the tank, I didn't want to have to take the carpet off to reroute that to do a relief. So what I did instead is I put some metal spacers in between the mounting bracket and the bottom. The tank is extremely light. I don't see there being a problem with it. All I need to do now is take off, open up this port and change it for an adapter so that I can connect the leader line. I'm gonna work on that now. Alright, that's it for tonight's video. As you can see, I got my compressors mounted, tanks mounted, added the new compressor leader line to the tank. I got a little bit of wiring to do, and tomorrow I'm going to test for leak. That's where I'm at. I think I'm going to call it a night, even though I really need to have this done by tomorrow. But alright, so right now I'm reconnecting some of the lines so that the tank is sealed. I have my battery here that I charged. Let's connect this and see what happens. Alright, it works. Alright, that should be good enough. Got a soapy solution here. Some dish soap and water. And it seems okay. Now that I know that those connections aren't leaking, I can go ahead with the wiring and get this installed. Alright, so I got my first piece in there, and I'm using that board to just kind of like level the two pieces so that they're both flat against each other, or have some flat reference. I don't think it's a permanent thing. I'm also using it to kind of gap because it's really close, but with this board, it's pretty stable. And I already test fit the old board, which is this one. The reason I'm not using this one is because it's not wide enough. I'm going to cut a longer version, and also change up this design a little bit because it fits close but not as close as I'd like it to. And also there needs to be a little cutout right here for the latch. Alright, so that's my template. I'm gonna cut this up real quick and do some test fitting. I don't know if my phone started recording or something, but I got the wood cut. Time to go test fit it. Alright, a little notch there, a little rounding on that side. I need to notch a little bit more. So this is going to come in. Something like that. I think this needs to come out a little bit more too. And kind of like that. Alright. Try again. Well, that is nearly there. This needs to be trimmed down. It'll probably look like that, where there's like a gap, but there's like such a slant to the interior piece right here that it's just gonna look like that. A couple more cuts, but that's tucked nicely in there. It's just right here, really. All right, let's make some cuts. It's just so close, you know? So this side will go down. I'm pushing it, it wants to go down. This side, specifically right here, does not want to go down. That side can go down, right there can go down. Hell, even right here can go down. But I think it's right here, so I'm gonna just round this off a little bit more and then splinter, and then hopefully that should be good. All right, I gave it the chop, so. I would say that's a success. Just need to throw some carpet on it. It's extra. Much extra on this side. I'll use this to stretch and staple. All right, I'm gonna go spray it with some glue. let's go put it in. Tank needs a good polish, cleaning. Other than that, this is like day 3 or 4 of working on this. Everything's just about ready. I'm about to connect the battery and test everything out. I still have to mount the manifold, but everything else is ready to go. So, here we go. That's kind of what it looks like so far. A lot cleaner of a setup. I do need to get the manifold mounted still. Just 2 2-inch screws through here. That's about it. Ready to go. All right, the only thing left to do now that this is mounted, I need to clean up these lines, which isn't that big of a deal. Just do one at a time. Yeah, I got a bunch of like couplers now because I relocated the manifold and I didn't leave enough slack in the lines. What I'm probably gonna do is get some other couplers, maybe some black ones or something, because these are just my like emergency ones. And I'll get some more line because I'm out of line. And I'll just kind of clean this up, tuck it down, and route these around so that they come to the manifold and not up here like that. But for right now, everything looks good. Everything's secure. I'm calling it done. All right, that concludes my video on redoing my trunk setup. I think it looks a lot better. As you can tell right now, the car is filthy, but I gotta drive it today, so we're just gonna rock with it. I'll get it washed later on and post some pictures on my Instagram showing off the new trunk setup as well as what it used to look like. So if you like content like this, let me know down in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I do have Corolla content coming up soon. I know I've been kind of slacking on that, but this trunk setup really had to be done. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you guys in the next one.